You're watching MetroCast Channel 10. Welcome to our program today. Isn't this interesting? We're with Ron Wexler, who runs the Orphaned Wildlife Rescue Center in Lusby. And Ron, it's good to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We've talked to you before, and we talked to you kind of in broad terms, but I thought it was really interesting if we would take a program and feature an animal specifically that was rescued, and we'll follow this little Screech owl from rescue to release. Tell us a little bit about the owl that you're holding right now.
This little guy, he got hit by a car. There's a couple gentlemen who were doing, I guess, a night job, computer work on the Geek Squad. They came up in their car, and they called me about 2:10 in the morning and said we had this owl, and they were just so worried about it that they hit. And they brought this little guy in, and he had a fractured skull and a fracture above his eyebrow. And we took him over to Ann White, who's our ophthalmologist. She's also on our board. She's a specialist for all kind of eye surgeries. In fact, she's changed, transplanted lenses or put in artificial lenses on baby animals, on owls, on deer. Did one on a baby squirrel for us one year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's really something. So, but this one little guy, he just needs some time to recover. And the people have called several times to see how their owl is. And we had him in there. We discovered, when she scoped him, discovered that he had an infection in his iris, or in his retina. And that may, in fact, have caused him to crash into the car. They're typically shooting down across the street, and they'll see a mouse out in the open at night, and of course they go down and grab a mouse for dinner. And so he's on antibiotics for another week, and then once he gets a clean bill of health, we can let him go. His eye that was injured is doing very well.
Now you can hear the sound. Is that a sound that he's making because he's scared?
Well, he's communicating, but he's a little nervous.
Okay.
He's a little nervous. He's not being used to being held. We never don't hold these guys. You do minimal contact just to let them be comfortable.
Be safe when they go back out.
And usually after they're here a few days, if we handle one that has to be handled, we handle it more because then they calm down. They trust you. He's starting to trust now.
Okay. How old do you think he is?
This is an adult. They're 9.5 inches. A screech owl's head is not even the size of a ping pong ball. This is all feathers.
Okay.
That's probably 70% feathers. But the little talons can get you.
He did get you when you got
just a little bit. Yeah. Okay. It's just all it takes. They're like razor blades. They're long and extremely sharp and thin.
Okay. Now I do want to mention, we are going to follow him because in a couple of weeks you'll take him back to the ophthalmologist. They'll make sure his infection is gone and his eye is okay, and then you're just going to let him go.
He'll be released, taken back where he was found, and he probably has a mate. This is mating season. They're nesting and mating. That's why I have so many collisions right now with hawks and owls and so forth.
Okay. Now, do owls mate for one life? Are they monogamous?
They usually mate for life, yeah.
Do they?
It's very rare that they don't. There's some competition sometimes. If one's sick and dies, something like that, they may remate. But waterfowl in particular that we do, the waterfowl mate for life. So if one of them gets shot hunting, whatever, we call them hunting accidents, but the other one will often just sit there and starve to death because they will never mate again.
Now, pardon me because I'm not knowledgeable in this area, how will he find his mate when you let him go?
They have a territory. He'll be calling out a lot louder than he's calling out here, but he'll be calling out, and they'll find each other. And it's still early enough; they can still continue and raise this next generation, which is cool. To save one, and you have 5 more next year. So.
Absolutely. Now, I guess I just had a picture in my mind that screech owls were much, much bigger.
Now, this is the smallest one around here. Okay. Like I say, he's all feathers, but teeny weeny little guy.
How many would you say that we have in Maryland? Or what's their population like?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. He's a beautiful little bird, but
he is gorgeous.
It's okay. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Gotta love him.
Absolutely. They're very neat animals, and he is absolutely just beautiful.
He's looking at you.
Yeah, he sure is. Look at that.
It's a beautiful baby.
Well, that's really neat, and hats off to the guys that
brought it in.
Knew to do something to do about it, and have continued
really
to check on
him.
Yeah, because he's just
they called the county.
Animal.
The county sheriff's department referred him because they help. They actually help us with transporting animals now and then.
Way to go, Calvert County Sheriffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the sheriff's department, animal control is under the sheriff's department now.
Okay.
In fact, Craig Deitcher, who's in charge of animal control, the chief over there now, he interned through us 15, 16, 17 years ago.
Goodness.
And that's what he does for a living now. But he loves animals too, so that's pretty pretty cool. It's
That's
a
great.
good group of people.
Now, did you have to go out and get the owl, or did they scoop it up and brought it in?
It was knocked out,
Okay.
so they brought it in.
Oh, okay.
We don't advise that, but normally we'll go out.
Oh, okay.
If it's a rabies vector species,
that makes sense.
we always do them. We don't want people, if people touch them, they may have to go through the shots and so forth. So we always pick them up. And raptors, because of the talons and the danger of injury, we always like to pick them up. But people can scoop them up, put them in a cardboard box or something like that. That's fine when they're kind of out of it.
Because he's a little guy and he's very fluffy. You said, his feathers are fluffed out.
And he's
but
relaxed now.
you're wearing the glove because their talons are incredible.
They're almost an inch long, and they're very, very small, and they're very, very sharp. These little sharp, elongated talons, they go right through your finger. So
Ooh, goodness gracious.
no problem at all.
Goodness gracious. Well,
he's being very good right now. He's behaving himself.
Yeah, he really relaxed once we started talking, but it'll be nice to have him released back. Hey, how are you?
It's going to be good to see him back with his mate.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, well, the exciting thing is we're going to get to follow this story. I love that. From beginning, not so good, to the end, which is going to be wonderful. And we'll follow Ron to the ophthalmologist in a couple of weeks and watch our little friend here get checked out and then released to go and find his mate.
That sounds good.
Okay, good.
He'll be a happy camper.
Absolutely. And if you'd like to help out the Orphaned Wildlife Foundation, you can, of course, get in touch with them through their website or give them a call. They always are looking for volunteers, people that they can train, and, of course, financial donations as well. So, Ron, we will see you in a couple of weeks with some hopefully really, really good news and get to see a release in the wild in our own community. This is great. This is just so terrific. All right. We'll see you next time.
Sounds very good.
You're watching MetroCast Channel 10.